2015. We have a public hearing to consider 2 new 2,500 head deep pit swine finisher confinement buildings for new swine confinement facility, Gray Owl Farms 2, Inc. Supervisors, did you have any comments for or against?
The only comment that I had was emailed to me by Mrs. Morris here that got a copy of it, that we should put it as part of the record, send it down to Des Moines, and other than that, no, I did not have any.
I have gotten 2 phone calls, 2 other emails were sent to the supervisor's email, and 1 face-to-face against.
I saw the 2 that was sent to the supervisors. What you told yesterday, auditor test, have you gotten any comments for or against?
No, just the pending, made copies yesterday.
All right, this time we'll move to the
Took pictures, I should say.
public. Anybody from the public like to speak?
I,
Thanks, Penny.
even though you've got it in front of you, everybody may not have a copy of this. I wasn't really aware of this confinement until Saturday when I read the agenda, so I went and looked over the application and asked for someone who's more skilled at analyzing these matrices than I am for some comments. And here's what we came up with. The Gray Owl Farms LLC gave themselves 445 points on the master matrix for their proposed 5,000 head facility located in Section 4 East Lincoln Township in Mitchell County. After analysis of the application and master matrix, we have determined that the applicant took 105 erroneous points that do not meet the DNR standards. This brings the master matrix score down to 340 points, a failing grade. The applicant must receive 440 points on the master matrix for the permit to be granted. When considering the size, health concerns, and environmental hazard of this site, significantly more detail regarding design, operation, and maintenance is required. The application master matrix do not meet the minimum requirements for a construction permit to be issued. Now, it goes through point by point. You've got copies of it, and if anybody in the audience doesn't have a copy, I can give them a copy of it. But I wanted to point out, are we saying, oh, they're just being too picky about all of this? But I want to read some comments that were from the report prepared for Iowa Select by Terracon, and they did the drillings. And I also want to point out, as I remember, before the ballot plant was built, and there were some, test boreholes drilled. Well, the test boreholes didn't show that at some point there had been a sinkhole there that had been filled with a bunch of junk, and that didn't come to surface until they were ready to build. So we know, and you've had experience with test boreholes, don't always give you the whole picture of the site. So here's from the Terracon report. Ground level observations made in boreholes within coarse grained soils are usually a reliable indication of the current groundwater conditions. However, a relatively long period of time is necessary for a groundwater level to develop and stabilize within a borehole in fine-grained soils. Longer-term observations in piezometers or groundwater observation wells sealed from the influence of surface water would be necessary to provide a better evaluation of groundwater conditions and potential variations. Groundwater level fluctuations occur due to seasonal variations in the amount of rainfall, runoff, and other factors not evident at the time the borings were performed. In addition, perched water can develop within more permeable soil, within or overlying lower permeability soil. Therefore, groundwater levels during construction or at other times during the lives of the confinement structures may be higher or lower than the levels indicated on the borings. The possibility of groundwater level fluctuations should be considered when developing the design and construction plans for the project. Special design considerations would be required for this project due to the presence of alluvial soils and shallow groundwater. Groundwater was encountered in the buildings above or near the anticipated pit floor level of the buildings, and therefore consideration should be given to the potential for groundwater level variations to the soils. Furthermore, consideration should be given to the provision of a permanent groundwater control system to maintain groundwater levels below the pit floor. It goes on to say, we are not aware that a sinkhole has been mapped at the confinement site or that a sinkhole is mapped within 1,000 feet of the confinement site. The IDNR, however, indicates that the site is located in a potential karst area. Based on conditions encountered in the borings, even certain evidence of karst and/or karst that possess an immediate threat of a sinkhole or significant subsidence developing was not apparent. The boreholes explored an insignificant portion of the site overall, and it is possible that voids are present below the building site. It also appears the groundwater levels near and above the proposed confinement floor levels that provisions for groundwater control should be made or the pit floor level should be raised. The client should be aware that lower density strength soils were encountered in the borings 2, 4, 5, and 6 near and below the planned foundation level. Although hull confinement structures impart relatively low bearing pressures, the placement of new fill will cause settlement to occur. If the fill is placed around the structure after it is constructed, the settlement caused by the fill placement would be in addition to the settlement from the structure loads. The structure designer should be aware of this potential post-construction settlement and evaluate whether the settlement is tolerable. This report does not reflect variations which may occur between borings or across the site. The nature and extent of such variations may not become evident until additional subsurface exploration is performed or construction is undertaken. Given this is a report that they had prepared, there's, there should be some concerns for us for the quality of the groundwater or the potential contamination of groundwater. And just looking at the pictures of, the fields where the manure is going to go, just about every field has a little, you can see a little waterway that runs through the field. This one looks like kind of a significant waterway. And we know what happens when the manure is injected on soil like this. Let's say I've seen this happen. There's a field that gets injected because the pit is full, and then we have a 2-inch rainfall. Well, where does that manure end up going? If the ground is tiled, it was like Attorney Walk said, goes into the tile, it goes into wherever the tile drains, it ends up in the Cedar River eventually. Or it could just run right off. So I think, and you guys have all seen the map of this site, it's only 923 feet from a little stream that goes through here. I just think, given the fact that the way they scored the matrix, and you want me to read through the details of this, I can read through the details, but a lot of it had to do with the applicant does not mention what action should be taken should the structure need repairs, what protocol will be taken during and after storm events, and who will perform the repairs. And it goes through on page 7.
Your comments here, you prepared these, right?
I prepared these with the help of.
These are what you say that they do not
Yes.
meet the matrix.
Right.
And so basically that's what we need to be concerned about right here today.
Right. I know these other things are probably relevant.
No, they're all,
But-
I applaud you for diving in and, looking all this stuff up because.
Well, I think it's unrealistic to expect, for you guys to get this big stack of papers and expect you to be able to go through it and, I looked at it and I said, so I contacted someone I know who has a lot of experience in evaluating these permits to see does it meet the matrix, because it's kind of like asking the fox guarding the hen house, well, are there still any, are the chickens all there? And the fox says yes. They prepare the report, they're gonna say it meets the matrix. You need another set of eyes looking at it to see, okay, what are the requirements to meet the matrix, and does it meet it? And just like you were saying before the meeting, you guys, you got a lot on your agendas, and you don't have, we're a small county. You can't hire somebody that can sit down and do this. So I think having another set of eyes look at these proposals, and, I just don't think that this confinement as it is proposed is in the best interest of Winter County.
Anybody else care to comment?
I totally agree with her. In our area, there's been livestock setups. They've done after the fact, where they do not contact you, the DNR. Then they expect special privileges and favors, and they use your name. Yeah, they use your name. They go to the DNR, the Conservation Board. Matter of fact, across from my property, I live in Mitchell County. And I'll use the name, John Ray Knoll from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, used our people in this county to dig, not one, but 2 hog barns, put them on cinder blocks, and everyone knows in this room, cinder blocks move with our climate. It's an open pit. And they used Jeff Lutz to do it. And everyone knows who Jeff Lutz is in this room. Yes. So you people need to work hard at this because this is a health risk, not only to our community, but down the road, so to speak. And I appreciate each and every one of you and the DNR in our area for doing your job well. And I thank you.
Anybody else?
My name's Tom Willett. I happen to be from the Mason City area, but if you don't mind, I'd like to read you something that I got from a DNR official who, I'm gonna leave his name out at this moment, okay? But he said, I learned that the Board of Supervisors of each county gets the CAFO, you know what a CAFO is, right? Combined Animal Feeding Operation. So I refer to it that way. Gets the CAFO applications the same time as the DNR. The county scores the CAFO application first. The county then gives the scoring to the DNR. If the county passes the application, then the DNR has to automatically pass it too without question. However, if the county does not give the application a passing score, then the DNR will deny application. He also stated that one thing the counties forget is that the application needs, in caps, to have a small print of detailed design, operation, and maintenance plan. This is a must. Most of the CAFOs do not do this, but the DNR has noticed, especially in 2016, that the county supervisors are giving the CAFO an added score for the print when actually there is none. So you gotta have that design, operation, and maintenance plan print. If you're gonna give them the points for it, it has to be included. He stated that the counties need to take the applications more seriously and take their time in scoring. They need to make sure everything, in caps again, is there in the application, and they need to not give the CAFO a score when there should not be one. He stated that in November 2016, he offered a webinar training to all county supervisors through the Iowa State Association of Counties. The webinar was to train the supervisors on the scoring, explain the loopholes that the farmers are trying to jump through, and etc. None of the counties accepted the invitation.
Oh, it's on the website then.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. So, and like I said, that was in November, so maybe, you know, that's been some time past, that may have changed since then. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, he's the one that presented this, it's on the ISAC website.
okay.
Yep.
So I guess I can't add a whole lot more to what's already been said, except for I missed part of the beginning when the gentleman, they were speaking, I didn't get who he was, but we were talking about the Des Moines Water Works lawsuit and all. So you're all are aware of there's issues with the water quality in our state. And I would put it like this, I mean, I hear this often, that, you know, I know the problem is with the legislatures. They need to, that's where things have to be changed. But if somebody doesn't keep a fire under the pot, it doesn't come to boil, so somebody needs to, we need to make some changes, because we definitely have water quality issues. I mean, they're talking about a $5 billion cleanup, where they don't know where it's gonna come from. Now, I'll put it to you like this, 'cause I know you probably don't wanna hear me keep talking. If you have a bad storm, takes off a bunch of your shingles, right? And then you get a torrential downpour, soaks your insulation, ruins your sheetrock, ruins your flooring, hardwood flooring, your carpet. You don't run out to Menards or Lowe's, get new insulation, new sheetrock, and new flooring, and leave the roof, right? So we already have this water quality issue now. We're asking, many of us are asking for a suspension of these permits until we can get a grip on the problems we already have. No one's gonna starve to death if we don't raise more hogs in Iowa. Because the consumption of hogs or pork in the United States flatlined about 2010. The increase in production is for export, right? I got some friends that are veterans of Vietnam and the Korean War that really take issue with us fattening up a former and potential enemy, but that's a whole nother issue. But I really think it's something we really gotta take a strong look at, slow down on these, and there's been 7 counties that have officially asked for a suspension of these permits until the matrix can be revisited. Where else can you score 50% and get a passing grade? The people who wrote Mark Kuhn, who was one of the authors of the matrix, is working very hard to get it changed, to get it tightened up, to have stricter regulations, tighter regulations on it. And I just, as she's pointed out, if you look at this, what's been given to you, it doesn't make the 440 points necessary. Thank you. I'd like to add one thing. You have a beautiful courthouse. I haven't been here in a long time. I like it, very nice.
Okay, there's no more comments, we'll close this
I
portion.
have
Go.
just one other to add to Tom's. You know, the matrix has to be reviewed, that's true. But the point is that there are laws that aren't being enforced. These factory farms aren't being inspected very well. There's not being, the DNR isn't allowed to be in there. These are problems that don't reflect on you. But it does say that you three are the only thing we have between good water quality and you know, finally making it to the 50s. It is important that this be taken seriously. And I understand we just sat through Cerro Gordo County meeting with the exact same thing. We asked them to add notification so that people would be able to at least have some fight against this. And there's no time, like Kenny heard this on Saturday, you know, that's not enough time. So get that notification out there, and this is not in your budget, I get that. But in Cerro Gordo, we offered to come in and help.
Notification was in
Notification
January
in
18th.
January 18th, right, thank you. I stand corrected, but that's not very much. What we're asking for is anyone within a mile, or even better, 5 miles, to get a letter saying there's a permit that's coming. That is what we were
Can I
asking
clarify?
for.
When you guys received the application for the permit, what we're doing in Cerro Gordo County with in agreement, the question right now is the distance. The county's gonna notify anybody living within. Right now, they've set a mile, and they're considering going further than that.
Who's gonna pay for that? Who's gonna pay for
Well,
the
the county will.
County.
The county will. But,
That's what they consider part of their job, but it's a huge push for them to get it done.
they're also gonna put it on the website for the Department of Health. Department of Health is gonna post it online. And the county's going to eventually, but they're redoing their, what do you call it, the web page.
We can make a circle around the site and do a Wednesday notification. That would be more cost effective.
Well, what we're doing is just bringing up these issues, because people feel like, you know, that CAFO goes in a mile in their house, they just lost 50% of their property value. This happens all over the place. Or they just sell it at a loss and move, goodbye population, and none of us want that. So I'm just bringing this up to say, please think about these things, seriously. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
So I'm understanding that the supervisors are supposed to police everything? Is that it? Yeah.
Just review.
I don't know about
Okay.
this.
So why wasn't I notified when Knapp Farm?
Because we're not required to.
Oh, you're not
Right.
required to.
Yes.
And now they're asking,
We're asking for that.
Sarah Gordo's gonna start, you get a public notice, we print it in the paper, that's our notification. You're required to read.
well, good luck with the
And that's what they-
notification. Because
They want to
big
do
money
it.
will bring it.
Okay, we'll
Big
close this portion of the public hearing at 9:34. Supervisors, what's your pleasure? Consideration, item A is consideration of the county's recommended matrix and score.
Mr. Chairman,
It's Mr. Walk.
District 3 is my district for the purposes of livestock confinement. Basically, in the past, it really didn't matter what we had done on the matrix. It was basically ignored by DNR and that. And for the past how many years, we have not, at least I have not, we have not scored them. And we have always recommended that we pass this on to the state with no negative comments. That meaning that we're not for it and we're not against it. Let the state, I mean, they're gonna do what they wanna do anyway. And we can sit here and make an issue of this and that, and again, part of it is, I don't think that we're qualified to necessarily, like the karst, are we really, you know, when that's brought up, are we really qualified to know if this is a problem, isn't a problem? The DNR supposedly is qualified to understand this and so on, and again, that's my recommendation, that we just defer and no negative, I mean, we pass it on, we pass on the comments that these people have so that the DNR understands it, but we ourselves, we're not for, we're not against, no negative comments.
Madam Chair, Chairman, I'd like to make a comment that our job is to make sure that by reviewing this and looking at it, and we do have a resource that to review it, we do have an engineer's report that says the karst is an issue, and if we send it to the DNR, you're saying we're okay with it, and this doesn't even meet the master matrix minimum, so I would deny it and have to go back to them so they can at least meet the minimum, so we can do our due diligence to, that we are doing what we're supposed to do by the code.
And what's,
And I've never done it. I have District 2 for livestock. I've never done a livestock review because primarily they're in the east side county.
okay, so if we denied this application, then what happens? I mean,
Goes back to them, but then we
it goes
can,
back to the person who's asking for this application, and they need to adjust or.
yeah, we can send them this copy of this information of what we're basing it on. And if you want to, there's ISAC there, IdahoCounty.org, there is Gene Tinker's under training, and he states that they will, in that training, he said they had to get an arbitrator to come out because of all the groups that were involved, the 10 groups, and that they'll probably never change this because it was such a nightmare to get it. So we are aligned with the DNR, so I would just send it back to them, tell them to leave at least the major. There's other areas they can store, but if they're giving themselves credit for doing this, I think they need to do it. So I'll make a motion to deny the application by Gray All Farms to Section 4 East Lincoln Township, with return to them with the comments.
Second. I'll second. We have a motion by Paul, second by Oaklander to return the matrix.
Yeah, their application.
Application to Gray Owl Farms with the comments, and they can resubmit the application. Roll call, vote, Paulus?
Mr. Chairman, do we have
More discussion? Go ahead.
discussion?
Yes, go ahead.
I'm probably gonna vote against the motion, not that, just because, again, we can forward all of that to the DNR, and I don't wanna necessarily, like I say, we haven't personally we have no personal knowledge of it, and so again, I don't mind the idea that we forward all of this to the DNR, let them make the decision on that, but I don't really feel that it in one respect, we should be for or against it.
Well, here's my question. If we forward this on to the DNR and it goes down there and it obviously does not meet the minimum of mass matrix, would they in turn
Yes.
turn around and just issue the permit regardless?
They
If that's the
may.
case, then I
You
don't
have to deny it in order for them, because it automatically is passed unless you guys deny the application. That's what I read to you.
In January, when we said we would do the matrix, which we've done for years, we say that if they don't meet the minimum, we aren't gonna send it
No,
down.
but part of it is we're supposed to complete the matrix. We haven't done that neither.
Well, it's because our providers always complete the matrix, and we ask them if everything's in order. We don't
No, but
critique
we're
the
also
matrix,
supposed to
review it.
complete, we're supposed to review it.
And that's what we're gonna have to start
We
doing.
haven't done it, so I mean, to that extent, that's not a,
I think this is very well discussed, and they're not nitpicking items, they're just saying, they said they were gonna do this, but they didn't. They said they were gonna include this, but they didn't, so they can't give themselves points for something that's not even there.
no. Again, I mean, I have no problem if the two of you wanna deny it, that's fine, but I just don't feel it.
That's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Now, should we take a vote?
Well, you're the chair, right? You gotta give time for discussion.
As a roll call vote, Pauls,
Aye, to deny it, yes.
Oaklander, aye, Walk.
Nay.
Motion is approved. Denied. So we'll see where this goes. This is the first time on this board that we've ever done it like this. I'm saying that we shouldn't do it like this, but I'm glad, and I thank Shannon, I thank Penny for looking into it, and pointing out that it didn't meet the master matrix. So, we did our job.
And I know I missed the little notice in the paper, but if maybe like a little phone call or something, we could call in some of the resources to look it over before the day before the meeting, so that you have more time to absorb the information.
And if it comes back through and they meet all that, then I would feel confident doing, if they do what they're supposed to, but I don't think they have.
And I know what you say about the borings, that's the most useless thing there ever is. I-
The whole balance plant kind of proved that, didn't it?
Oh,
Well, that and
The
this-
courthouse.
The courthouse.